Well, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it, man. We've spoken a couple of times before, every time you've had a new album come out, but obviously the new one coming out August 5th, which just on a side note, that happens to be on my birthday. So I'm going to be celebrating with the new
All
Amon
right.
Amarth record.
Best way to celebrate.
Yeah,
Best way to
definitely.
celebrate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I did have a chance to preview the album just the other day, and fantastic as always. But obviously, some of the details about this album, obviously working around the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. From what I read, you were sort of on tour in South America for the last album, and then that's obviously went away, and you decided to just write a new album, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. I mean, at first, when the tour got canceled, we went back home. And we said, let's wait and see what happens, because obviously nobody knew how long this pandemic was going to be, if it was going to be like another scare or whatever.
Yeah.
So we said, let's wait it out and see, and then we pick up the touring if we can. But then I think fairly soon we realized that this pandemic is not going to go away anytime soon. So we decided to take some time off, recharge the batteries, and then we said by the time we can go back touring, the Berserker album is going to be 3 years old. It doesn't really make sense to go back touring on an old album, so let's just start writing a new one.
And that's it, I guess. I mean, what else can you do? I mean, obviously, sitting around doing nothing is and not going to be sort of productive, I guess. But I mean, do you feel? I mean, how did you approach this album, given the circumstances? Was it sort of the same as what you've always done, or did you kind of approach it differently because of what was going on around the world?
I think from obviously what went on around the world, affected us all in one way or another. And obviously, when you look at, we did the Put Your Back Into the Ore single that we released, and also Find a Way to Make One, are typical songs that in one way or another also relate to the pandemic, basically, because everybody in the world was struggling. We in Sweden were fortunate in a way because we didn't really have the strict lockdowns that you guys had in Australia, for instance.
Yeah.
But so people lost their jobs, their livelihoods, and here as well, and people lost their lives. We have people that we know that died in COVID. So it definitely affected everyone in a very big way. So I think when you look at Put You Back Into the Ore, it's also, the song is about rowing basically, but it's also about that if we do this together, if everybody pulls together, we can get through this, and we can help each other out. And Find a Way to Make One is basically, you're in a shithole now, you have this massive obstacle in your way, and if you can't find a way through it, well, you have to make one. You can't give up. You have to keep going, and that's kind of like where that inspiration comes from. But then again, it's also from a lot of other stuff obviously went into it, but I think also we wanted it to be an Amon Amarth album as well. So obviously there are traditional stuff in there as well, like stuff that historical and mythological and stuff like that.
Yeah. And also just I guess for the hardcore fans who kind of like to nitpick about little stuff here and there over time, this album, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the album cover obviously portrays all you guys on the front, and that hasn't really been seen on an Amon Amarth album since, I guess, the really early stuff, like maybe the first album or something, right?
Yeah, One Son from the Golden Hall has us on the album, but it's not that obvious. It's just the silhouettes of five guys.
Yeah.
But
what was the idea behind that? Like, did you intentionally want yourselves? I mean, like kind of like what you was talking about, sort of like what was going on around the world and stuff. It almost seems like there's a representation of who you guys are and where you are at the moment. I guess from the album cover alone.
A bit of that. I mean, when we were discussing the album title, because it wasn't super obvious that was going to be the title actually, but when we came around to making that title, because like it is kind of the theme of the album, we wanted to have a big army on the cover, and then we said, just, you know, for the fun of it as well, just put ourselves in there as a sort of a wink to, you know, Kiss Destroyer and, you know, those albums, you know.
Yeah.
But also, I think when it comes to the Great Heathen Army, obviously it is historical. The lyrics is historical and everything. But what we felt about it is that, you know, in a way, the Great Heathen Army is back now because, you know, the pandemic is going away. We're dealing with it. We're opening up society. Shows are coming back. Festivals are coming back. So the whole metal community is waking up after 2 years in hibernation, basically.
Yeah.
So the Great Heathen Army is back, basically, you know. So that's kind of the idea as well. It's maybe it's a little bit far-fetched, I don't know, but you know.
No, it's very cool, and I think it sort of ties in really well with everything you know, what's going on as well. And obviously the first single that came out, Get in the Ring, which features a guy named Eric Beard, who's obviously a wrestler from for anyone who knows the wrestling world and all that. It kind of sets the tone for, I think, the rest of the album as well, you know. And it kind of was it hard to sort of pick out a first single for this album?
Definitely very difficult. I think I mean, everybody had different picks, so it was a lot of discussion back and forth. What to, you know, which were going to be the singles. But I think when it really came down to it, I think we're all very happy with the ones we picked. So I think to do Get in the Ring as the first single kind of made sense because it has that really, it's kind of brutal but still pretty catchy, and it I think it really represents the album in a good way overall. Plus also it was a cool idea to write the song for Eric, because he approached us a couple of years ago about writing a song that he could walk into his fights. And we said, yeah, we want to do that, but we didn't just want to throw something together. We wanted to make a proper song that could fit on an album. So that's what we did, and Get in the Ring became that song.
And the video, which I love as well, has got a sort of a post-apocalyptic sort of tone and look to it as well. Was the video idea also centered around sort of having Eric and the single and all that kind of stuff as well?
Yeah, I mean the whole idea was to have Eric in the video, and I think I forget who came up with the post-apocalyptic idea, but it's I think it may be the video team actually, but it's great. I love it. I love the whole idea. I love doing something different, something unexpected, and yeah, it was a lot of fun shooting it as well. Even though I had a massive fever. I didn't have COVID, but I was really sick.
Okay. Yeah, it's a part of the process, I guess.
I had 39 degrees fever, so that was rough. Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise it's a great track to start off with. But you know, going through the rest of the songs on the album as well, one of my favorites, and I think it's probably one of the heaviest songs you've ever done, is the Odin Owns You All. Absolutely love that song.
Yeah, it's a fucking smack in the face.
It is.
And we were talking about we were talking about making that into to a single as well. But I don't know why that didn't become one of the singles, but I think it was a tough choice. It was difficult. We had to choose, you know. It could have easily been that song as well. I think it's an amazing song also, and I think, as I said, it's the fist in the face, and it's like it's really like it's a heavy one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Now you're speaking before about, you know, things sort of getting back to some normalcy and sort of touring coming back again. Last time I caught you live was in Australia. Obviously, you were playing the Download Festival back in, I think it was 2019 or something like that. Could be too early at this stage, but are you guys sort of looking to maybe come back to Australia at all?
Oh, definitely, we're looking at it. I'm not sure when that would happen though, but yeah, we're definitely going to come back to Australia, and hopefully, uh, hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, we'll see. We right now we're focusing on doing the first couple of tours here. We start off in September with Machine Head and Halo Effect here in Europe, and then we head over to North America with Carcass, Obituary, and Cattle Decapitation. So those are going to be great tours. And then next year, you know, there are some tours in the pipeline, but nothing is settled yet. So we'll see what you know what happens.
Yeah, no, it's obviously good to be back, touring again. Obviously, after the last couple of years, must be
Mm-hmm.
must be a fantastic feeling. You know, 'cause this is obviously what you guys are all about. You know, the live show.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the lineups that we have for these two first tours are amazing. So I'm really looking forward. I'm super stoked about that. It's going to be killer shows every night.
How do you think the new songs will play out live? Do you reckon?
I'm really stoked to see how people are going to react to the new songs. But I think there are several songs on this album that would be smashing live songs. So I have no doubt that people are going to love them.
Awesome. Well, congratulations once again on the new album, and it's fantastic as always. And as I said, that song "Odin Owns You All" I think is certainly my top pick. But even the first single was fantastic as well. So looking forward to seeing you back down under. And thanks for your time, man. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much.